lose every game. I want both his legs broken.
Are we on?
Bring it up, you can
I
say
didn't
it.
see the beginning.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. We were just debating the desirability of Tom Brady breaking both arms, both legs, the desirability of the Boston Patriots moving to any other state outside of the United States. They pulled another one out. My great desire that they lose every remaining game of the season doesn't seem to be working. But nevertheless, this is the December 4th edition of the Fun Show.
Oh, it is?
We're starting off with fun.
Doesn't sound like much fun.
And the man who was going to
If
play,
you're going to say Gronk or
it's
something.
snowing outside.
Oh, it's
Gronk is gone.
I
That's
played
that's
it.
that's
I
good.
played it. You were busy talking. You can hear.
And it's funny, it didn't in the background sound like that. Did it sound like that to you?
What? But the,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
that's recognizable. Yes, it did snow today. It actually snowed. People actually crashed. That's how you know it's the
Oh,
first
wow,
snow
did
in New England. People
a
crashed.
lot of people had trouble
The
on the
maestro
roads.
of the keyboard and the maestro de show, Michael Sallin, sitting over there. I'm Arch O'Reilly.
We had apple pie.
Irrefutably, we had apple pie tonight. We're all in a good mood. We're feeling quite American. We're celebrating America before it ends next January.
God.
And sitting between us and wondering why is our friend Susan Harrington, who is here.
Facing the some dim facts in the future, Susan.
I thought he was talking dim sum.
I know. That's the first thing. So it shows you like where my stomach is at.
We doing Chinese
I
after the
know.
show today or something? What is this? Anyway, so that's it. We have some interesting things that happened today that may or may not make it on the news for you folks. Is that Ivanka Trump at the transition committee of her father DJ had a meeting today with Al Gore, which was interesting. And
Al Gore?
Al Gore.
Who's he? Supposed to laugh.
He's a fellow Harvard man.
Oh, okay.
But
Was he a club? Did he belong to one of the final clubs? Al Gore?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Did you?
I never knew about the final clubs.
You not only didn't belong, you didn't get the word, right?
No, I didn't.
I
I couldn't even
almost
get
belonged.
into the radio station. They gave me a hard time.
I
'cause
almost belonged to the Hasty Pudding until I found out how much it cost.
Yeah.
I had my own radio station at Harvard. In any case, Ivanka Trump has expressed interest in making her issue global warming, which is cool. So naturally, Al's a good person to talk to. It turns out that Ivanka and her brother and her father made a public service announcement a few years ago talking about how this is a crucial problem facing the world and it'd be immoral not to take action to solve it. Of course, during the whole campaign, he said it was a Chinese plot.
You got-
You know? So Al did that, and of course, DJ got jealous because the former vice president was in the building and not talking to him, so he went in and took over the meeting. One of the big disappointments in the news was Jimmy Carter saying that he would attend DJ Trump's inaugural. And it really, really bothers me that Jimmy Carter, one of the most class acts ever to be a former president of the United States, would lend his reputation and presence to this, you know, helping make the thing that this is a normal transition, the brigade of give him a chance things. It's not. This could the furthest thing from the world, you know. This un-American monster who is about to destroy the United States of America, a person like Jimmy Carter
He's
cannot
religious.
show up.
He's religious, Carter.
yeah.
You got to forgive.
That doesn't mean you have to.
You don't have to forgive in advance.
And you don't have to forgive and go to their party.
No.
Sit home and go, okay, I forgive you.
No. Now, on the good news of the last couple of days,
I'm not going to send money, excuse me, to Habitat now because of what you said.
well, that's all right. Habitat is totally changed these days.
I know.
The guy who created Habitat has left Habitat and started his own organization. But On the good news, the Dakota Access Pipeline has been deep sixed or deep threed, in any case, by the Corps of Engineers.
Right.
And they've said they can't do it. And of course, the people out in Dakota, they thought that the protesters would immediately leave. Well, none of them are leaving. An interesting thing happened.
cold there.
These paid goons, private security people, have been really having fun beating up on these protesters. 400 Army or military veterans showed up, fully equipped and supplied, to stand between the protesters and the local cops and the private security. And basically, these veterans said, "Bring it on."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like that. I thought
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
I would have brought a baseball bat with me. That's all.
Well, actually, the interesting thing is that the Native Americans there do not allow any guns on the property.
Right.
So that's interesting.
That's
It doesn't
good.
seem to apply to the bad guys.
No.
In other words, the corporate goons. But
But Romney is out of the picture, would you say?
well, it's interesting. Apparently, he's reopening the discussions, and I don't know. Maybe the whole list of people is just people who he wanted to torment.
I think so.
Well,
You know, I'm gonna make Giuliani grovel like a child. I'm gonna make Romney take back everything he said about me, and
well, he's getting even. You know, what the heck? That's
his whole thing is getting even.
yeah, he's getting even.
Great way to run a country.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he got very upset that somebody criticized his talking to Taiwan, so he went on a Twitter rant against China and insulted them every way he could think of 6 ways from Sunday. That's really smart. Did anybody ever tell them that there's 1 billion people in China? You know?
The State Department, I'm sure, must be getting a little edgy over all this. Would you say?
The State Department doesn't know what to do. Theoretically, they should be briefing him, but apparently he
He
doesn't
doesn't
listen
want
to anything
briefing.
they say.
No, he knows all that. Okay.
Yeah,
Remember,
knows-
he knows more than the generals, remember?
and apparently
He
he
said
knows
he
more
did.
than the diplomats too.
But he's hiring generals.
Yes, even though it's illegal.
Too bad. Matt is a pretty good man. Yeah,
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
I mean, he probably chose him just because his
His
nickname
name.
is Mad Dog.
Yeah, he
You know,
likes that.
He'll fit right in, right? He'll fit in with what one Democratic congressman has called the swamp creatures in Trump's cabinet.
The swamp creatures. There's
Swamp creatures, yes.
That's good.
And it's true. I mean, the funny thing is that there's only one person.
Drain the swamp. Boy.
Yeah, drain the swamp.
Okay.
It's funny what's showing up in the mud from his swamp draining. The only person who's even passably, reasonably, by a stretch of the imagination, qualified for their job is this Elaine Chao, right? Because Elaine Chao was Secretary of, I think it was Commerce,
Yes. I think
throughout
so.
W's entire administration.
Right.
And before that, she was Undersecretary of Transportation. But here's the irony. She's not there because she's qualified. She's there because she's Mitch McConnell's wife, which means the only person he accidentally chose who was qualified was purely nepotism.
But Carson is a surgeon.
And today, he announces he's going to make Ben Carson Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. And it leads me to believe that Ben Carson is the only black man he's ever met. Or maybe he's the only black Republican he's ever met.
That sounds more like it. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, somebody said to him, "Hey, you got to have an African American in your cabinet." And he said, Ben Carson?
Yeah.
So
Should I tweet him? Should I
Yeah.
call him?
Yeah.
so Sarah is out. It looks like. Susan.
Oh, Sarah's on the outs. Sarah knows that she's been dumped. Now she's criticizing him.
Ah, good. Okay.
She ripped him on that carrier air conditioner deal.
Yeah. Well, it is.
As
It's
we were
going to
discussing,
leave to a lot of trouble, that deal where he saved 1,000 jobs and paid $7 million.
Yeah.
He had his pal next to him signing the checks.
and now every sleazy company in America and some moderately unsleazy companies
They're
in
going to
America
threaten to do the same.
will threaten to move so that they get theirs.
I
you
don't
know?
blame them.
Hey, pay me off. Pay me off.
He always said that's good business tactics.
He said, he always claimed that was good
If you
business.
can intimidate, get it.
You know, the interesting thing is that he's not even president-elect yet. He won't be president-elect for another 15
But
days.
he acts like it, though, doesn't he?
No, but here's the thing. We always wondered who was going to shoot him, and more, it looks like it's going to be his own supporters.
Well, I don't.
Much better if his own supporters shoot him. I just hope they do it quick.
Yeah, well, give him a break that much, you know.
No.
Both legs.
You don't give Hitler a break at all.
Just his arms and his legs.
Okay. Do you know that foreign money is buying up all of Boston's condos in the towers?
That's
New-
good. Somebody's
Yeah.
buying them. You
In
can't
what-
move
in
them.
What, in what towers?
In Boston, all these high-towered new buildings that are going up.
They're residential?
Well, they're in the city.
Are they residential?
People live in them, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they were all business buildings.
No. People live in these and they're investing in them. The
They're
lowest
speculating.
prices. Yeah, that's right. $1 million is the lowest price. And now they've reached the point where they're going to have to charge less to get people to move into the building. Okay.
In other words, they're running out of suckers.
You said that.
Sue, how soon are you going to buy $1 million condo?
Never.
And then after, the papers have been filled with all the troubles that people have in buying flood insurance, because there's all this the talk about flooding and the water keeps coming up and they got to put the houses on stilts.
It's called global warming.
I didn't want to say that.
DJ says that it's a Chinese scam.
But the point is, people aren't buying these coastal properties so quickly anymore. Well, the realtors, the realtors got to have to answer questions about has this place been flooded out? How far is it from?
Is it in a floodplain? I
Yes.
assume that the Corps of Engineers, Susan, will have to redo the floodplain maps.
Yeah. Well, but in Rhode Island,
Go
they're
ahead.
building a gingerbread lighthouse.
Made, yeah, a lighthouse.
16-foot tall house decorated with 2,400 pieces of candy is rising inside the city of Newport's visitor center. So they're not worried about the short. And it's going to be finished on Tuesday, and it's going to be 350 pounds. And it's made of organic gingerbread.
Absolutely.
brick.
But the question is, are people going to get to eat it?
That it doesn't.
Or is
I
it just
think
gonna
I
stay
think they're
there?
going to get to eat it. I think so.
I mean, if they decide that it's a work of art and they keep it for 20 years,
The Newport
what
Marriott.
difference does it make if it's organic?
I know, that's what the Newport Marriott hotel chef, Eric Steinhauer, the lighthouse lead architect, is baking his brick-shaped brick-shaped cookies the conventional way this year, trying a gluten-free
Gluten-free.
recipe last year. But they're still made of organic gingerbread, 350 pounds of it. The lighthouse will be on display till January 1st, so we can rush down and go see it.
You got to be careful how quickly you say brick-shaped.
Yes.
Do you think that Trump can get these big American corporations that moved all their operations to Europe and then got special deals there from these countries and made huge profits, billions? Now these countries have finally realized that they stuck themselves in the you-know-what by doing this, and they want to collect they want to collect some kind of payments from the big corporation. Now the question is, Can he convince them to come back to America with the money? Because that's a lot of money they have. They say, oh, it's close to $1 trillion.
Only if he promises to let them keep it all, which he will. You know, he'll brag about how he got this company back, and it'll be a major company paying no taxes, no benefits, not paying minimum wage. He'll probably exempt them from minimum wage, you know, and he'll claim he got them back.
Excuse me.
But, you know, the irony is that companies are already returning from China because the wages in China are going up. The atmosphere, the environment in China is shot to hell. And thousands of manufacturing jobs are in fact already coming back to the United States from China. And
he'll claim that something he did
Oh, yeah,
when it was
yeah, he'll-
started under the Obama administration.
He'll take credit for
Anyways,
it. But
in
the thing is, by the time he's done, the country's going to be in such rubble that nobody's going to want to listen to any claims of
All right.
what
you
he
get-
accomplished.
Yeah, we got this thing to be.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the big show Unrehearsed Thespian Society, Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation from tonight. And we have dug back into the vault for a happier time when we thought things were in big trouble and that our leaders were ruining the country. And we're doing this reprise just to show you how naive we were in 2004. And so I have, I offer you, he said, they said.
Did you guys turn back the clocks?
Well, I wish I could turn back the deficit.
Always politics, eh?
You know, polls are dumb.
Even I could do a better job.
But he can contain the terrorists.
What, with all those tons of high explosives?
They were gone before.
The war was over.
Yeah,
in
well,
Iraq.
Osama bin Laden's still free.
Didn't he get bombed?
That was Saddam.
He was hiding.
That's what terrorists do.
Bad judgment.
Rumsfeld's fault.
Okay, Martin, battle is speedy.
More troops, more tanks,
Expensive.
All that looting.
unprotected ammo dumps.
We didn't plan for that,
It was like Halloween.
And the insurgents just didn't stop.
but we got Saddam.
Without any WMDs.
And now we have El Sadar and Zakawi.
We should have used pepper spray or pellet guns.
The terrorists are losing.
Well, the coalition and the Iraqis are killed and wounded.
And then there was those rowdy fans after the Yankee game.
Expel those bums.
You mean the Fallujah thugs?
Afghans voted for Karzai.
With lawyers standing by.
Electoral college tie.
Wall Street up, economy down.
If John's elected, terror attack.
If George wins, it's voter fraud.
The machines are fine.
Turn out at the polls.
Why does everybody have a poll?
I mean, where you vote.
Oh,
We should sell lottery tickets in those places. The polls.
They pay lots of election bills.
I want to know who's minding the store.
You suspect cheating,
I suspect phony registrations.
Turning legal voters away.
but no flip-flopping.
George vacillates.
Where does John stand on anything?
Those debates help.
John won on his plans.
The incumbent is the better leader
We can't take 4 more years of this.
versus 20 years of silent challenges.
The president just doesn't like bad news.
Senator is all rhetoric.
Neither seems to get much done.
But George has been leading us for years.
With you guys, it's always promises.
And the foliage is beautiful.
It's cooling off for the president.
All prognosticators say otherwise.
Civility is important.
But gravitas is vital.
We're in a crisis.
What, the flu vaccine shortage?
Over.
Our health plan is better.
And he cut taxes.
Yeah, but only for the wealthy.
Encourages businesses.
But weapons for troops cost big money.
And the senator was against it.
the federal amendment to ban same-sex marriage.
That won't work.
Who brought up Cheney's daughter?
It's reality, pal.
Yeah, swing states.
Battlegrounds for new scenarios.
Ignoring attacks and fuzzy facts.
Leadership matters.
National security in Iraq.
Bashing, attack ads,
Re-examination of the president's decisions.
experience, conviction.
Kerry has the medals for bravery.
Swift boat, truth squads.
Get out the vote.
Then there's the internet and administration bungling.
Degrading beneath contempt.
Time for a smarter war on terror.
No plan to win the peace.
He won't admit mistakes.
The presidents don't do that.
The coalition needs multilateral support.
Iran and North Korea. George is tough.
Absentee ballots were lost in Florida's early voting.
More preemptive military action.
They both oppose the draft.
Our economy continues to move offshore.
UN backed, of course.
Did the troops watch the World Series in Iraq?
That's real Americanism.
Shock and awe, fear and smear.
You left out faith factor.
And voter intimidation.
No bid contracts. Stem cell research, though.
And absolutely no mention of Halliburton.
What about leadership?
The blame game.
Oh, it's the progressive socialist, left-wing liberal pinkos.
Communists.
The best man will win.
With all those lawyers and justices to help him.
Who can say in 2012?
Our citizens.
So let's work to get them to the polls.
Well, Donald isn't running, or Huckabee.
But Newt is.
What about more jobs and a shrinking budget?
You'd have to ask a gadfly.
Oil and money he's got, but short on bodyguards.
Blackout. So that was it in 2004.
Okay.
And we thought it was bad. Dan.
Yeah.
Here's a sad note. Dr. Sammy Lee has passed away.
But a good man.
Sammy Lee, all of 5 feet tall, from Korea or Korean extraction,
Right.
Los Angeles. He not only won medals, won Olympic gold in 2 Olympics, platform diving, but he also was
He's a coach.
actually, yeah, he coached Greg Louganis,
Oh,
the greatest diver
okay.
yet ever to exist, and so
Maybe coach in the future.
it was very interesting.
How old?
There's a school in Los Angeles named the Sammy Lee Medical and Health Sciences Magnet School.
Because when he got out, got out of the Olympics, he went to medical school.
That's why he's Dr. Sammy Lee, yes.
Yeah.
And in 1953, he was the Sullivan Award winner, the nation's top amateur athlete. And now they think amateurs are just suckers.
Right.
You know?
Well-
But talking about suckers, any American who pays a penny's tax to G.J. Trump is a fool and a sucker. Here's a guy who wants you to believe that he's the richest man in the world, and he brags about the fact that he
he
never
doesn't
pays
pay
taxes.
taxes.
So any American who actually pays taxes to this guy is a fool.
But you gotta have some kind of legal counsel tell you how long you're gonna be in jail.
Only if you worry about it. Only if
Okay.
you worry about it.
All right. What
If
about
100 million people just refuse to
pay-
file, what are they going to do?
That's a good question. They could all move to France
We
or
would have to take all the guys he's going to have chasing immigrants to chase the 100 million of us who
that's
refuse
it.
to
Well,
pay him. And
wait a
then
minute.
how's he going to pay them?
That's right.
but who's going to be protecting us at the wall? What wall?
You're holding the conversation
Wait,
all by
wait,
yourself.
what about this Santa Claus that went skydiving?
Oh, that was, where was that? In Brockton
was in
or someplace?
Quincy.
Quincy?
Yeah, and he landed in his
A
field.
guy
Everybody
who
else
has a,
landed
has a
safely.
tradition of skydiving Santa with a few elves, big elves,
Yeah.
and they came down into this lot with all these kids gathered around, and he landed wrong, and he broke his leg, and he had to be taken out. I feel sorry
Poor
for the
Sam.
guy.
He had to go to the
I
hospital.
feel sorry for the kids.
I felt bad. Yeah, they won't
know?
sit on that knee.
It's a
Yeah,
bit of a risk
Okay.
doing that, you know.
yeah, it is a little bit of a risk. The MBTA. Did you know the MBTA is in a holiday spirit will allow passengers who have trees with them. They'll allow them on board on the trains with the trees. The
Oh, is that
Christmas
what that
trees.
story was? I thought they were telling them not to bring their trees.
Well,
on the
it
train.
was in the paper today. Okay, my question
Maybe
is.
they tried to tell them.
Wait
no
a minute.
And got
Wait a minute.
reaction.
There's another question here. What about the fares for the trees? Do they charge anything for that?
You just have to drop a certain amount of needles.
And block up those things. All right, that's not bad.
Anyway,
You know why? Why do seabirds? Why can't they stop eating this plastic stuff that's in the oceans?
Because they don't know, they can't differentiate it from food. They just eat something and they.
The paper says, the scientists say, the scent of algae on which coats the plastic that's in the ocean
makes it seem like
draws
it's
mama and papa bird to the this stuff, and they gorge themselves on it, and they go back and feed it to their little ones.
Plus, evolution doesn't work that fast.
No.
However, they have now, at least one company is now putting out 6-pack rings. They're edible.
Oh.
Oh, that's
Some kind of
good. All right.
edible or biodegradable?
No, edible.
Oh, wow.
For fish and
Oh.
turtles and stuff. So they can actually now eat the things.
Oh.
And state parks now are going
And they work. They work.
State parks are going to be selling advertising in the national state. Yeah, you can
National parks or state parks?
both.
What states?
There's 3 of them so far that I listed. I don't have it.
I bet
on.
they're red states.
Actually, the state of Washington was one of them.
Really? That's
Yeah.
disappointing.
Okay. Well, I didn't like that either. And the Boston students, did they walk out? I think they did.
Quite a few of them, and they
walked
seemed
out.
very articulate.
Okay.
The superintendent of schools said that their voices needed to be heard, but not at the expense of missing class time.
Oh, so all,
I don't think that what the Boston schools can teach them in one afternoon compares to the necessity of protesting DJ
okay.
Trump.
Yeah, okay, and in case anybody out there isn't sure, Dr. Stein is still fighting for going to pay for the recounts. There was a
She did something very, very clever.
Yeah.
She canceled the state suit in Pennsylvania where she had to pay $1 million,
Right.
and instead took it to federal court where if she wins, she doesn't have to pay.
So what you
for the
going to
thing.
do with the $6.5 million that were donated? She going to give that to everybody else?
Well,
I hope?
clearly, DJ Trump has told you that the whole recount thing is only a scam for her to make money. Of course, that's the only way he can see the world.
Well, there's a guy named Friedkin. You know him because he came up with dollars for scholars a long time ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, he died, and he was an optometrist and a good one, and he made some money, and he did a good thing with it. I like that.
All right.
And Exxon Mobil is demanding an investigation of Massachusetts Attorney General Maura Healey.
They're countersuing Mara because
'Cause she's suing-
She's making them look bad. Hit the keyboard, sir.
Okay, I'm hitting the keyboard.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody, from the big show here, the fun show here at Big TV.
And if you take a hallucinogen, it'll ease your depression. That ought to help you.